Warped realities, galaxies, gravity, and the illusion of space-time. What if everything you know about the universe is a carefully crafted illusion? The galaxies you admire, the stars you wish upon, even the very fabric of space and time could all be warped, manipulated, or completely misunderstood. For centuries, we believed space-time was a smooth, invisible canvas. But what if it's not a fabric at all? What if it's a lie, an illusion born out of human limitation? In this groundbreaking exploration, we're pulling back the cosmic curtain to reveal the true nature of our universe, a place where galaxies bend reality, gravity whispers secrets we still can't decode, and space-time behaves more like a simulation than a structure. This is not science fiction. This is theoretical physics on the edge of madness, and it just might change everything you believe about existence. Space-time doesn't exist. What if time is not flowing? But still, space-time doesn't exist, opening cinematic mysterious tone. What if time is not flowing, but still? What if space isn't really out there, but a mirage of the mind? This isn't poetry, it's not philosophy, it's cutting-edge theoretical physics. For decades, we've accepted Einstein's elegant concept of space-time as a four-dimensional fabric. Bend it with mass and you get gravity, stretch it and time slows, compress it and light bends. It all worked, until it didn't, because now leading physicists are whispering something radical. Space-time might not exist at all. Time is an illusion, Julian Barber's shocking proposal. Let's begin with Julian Barber, a physicist who spent over 40 years challenging a sacred assumption, that time flows. According to him, the past, present, and future are not flowing states. Reality, he says, consists of static snapshots, what he calls nows, and the illusion of time? That's just our brain flipping through them like pages in a cosmic photo album. Time doesn't move, we do. This radical idea isn't a sci-fi fantasy, it's a mathematical model, peer-reviewed and respected. In Barber's world, time is not a real entity, just a psychological phenomenon. And if time is an illusion, what does that say about space? Carlo Rovelli, the man who erased space. Now enter Carlo Rovelli, architect of loop quantum gravity. He takes it a step further. Rovelli argues that at the most fundamental level of the universe, space and time do not exist. There is no here or now, no background, no fabric, only quantum interactions, raw relational events. Reality in this view is a giant web of processes. Space and time emerge only as approximations, illusions that help us navigate. Rovelli once wrote, "The world is not a collection of things, but a network of events." In other words, we live in relationships, not in space. At the Planck scale, space-time breaks. Zoom into the smallest known scale in the universe, the Planck length, and everything we know, space, becomes grainy. Time becomes meaningless. Particles blink in and out of existence, not in a timeline, but in pure quantum chaos. Einstein's equations, they don't work here. This is where space-time fractures. And this is where physicists believe the illusion begins. Gravity without space-time? Efforts to unify Einstein's gravity with quantum mechanics, like string theory and loop quantum gravity, all strip away space-time at the root. They treat space-time not as fundamental, but emergent, like temperature or color. It's not something real. It's something that appears when lots of smaller, invisible things interact. And just like temperature doesn't exist at the atomic level, space-time may not exist at the quantum level. Experimental clues, entanglement in black holes. Is this just theory? Not quite. Experiments in quantum entanglement show particles connected across vast distances without traveling through space or taking time. They simply know each other's state instantly. That's not possible if space-time is real. Then there's the black hole information paradox. Information seems to vanish, but Hawking radiation may carry it out, encoded on the surface. This suggests that our 3D universe could be a projection, a hologram, originating from a 2D boundary. Again, space-time behaves like an illusion. The brain may be generating space-time. Now here's a psychological twist. What if space-time only exists in our minds? Neuroscientists have found that when people are placed in extreme environments, like sensory deprivation tanks or deep meditation, the sense of time vanishes. The feeling of space dissolves. This implies our brains build the idea of time and space using perception. Just like your smartphone displays apps, not code, your brain gives you a user-friendly illusion, space and time. But behind that, it could be raw quantum computation. Where is reality then? If space and time aren't fundamental, where is reality? Some physicists believe it lives in information itself. Not in locations, not in objects, but in the way systems are related to each other, mathematically, abstractly. Reality could be a vast quantum web of entangled relationships, always shifting, never static. And we, as observers, create the illusion of space-time as we interact with it. Are we floating in nothing? Without space, without time, what are we floating in? Maybe nothing. Maybe something more fundamental, a pre-geometry, a pre-space, a raw sea of logic and structure we can't yet comprehend. It's unsettling but exciting, because it means we haven't reached the edge of discovery. We're only now waking up to the idea that the entire framework of reality might be just that, a frame, not the picture. Closing, the death of space-time. If space-time doesn't exist, then movement is a lie, distance is a dream, and causality is just convenience. But here's what it opens: new models of teleportation, new ideas of time, new visions of the cosmos as an ever-evolving dance of events, not objects. And for the first time in history, humanity is daring to say it out loud. The stage of the universe is not space-time, it's something else. And we're just beginning to look behind the curtain. Would you like me to continue with Chapter 5, Hidden Dimensions and Gravity Leaks next? Or do you need this chapter broken down for image transitions, timestamps, or voice syncing? This chapter takes the illusion further, asking, if space-time is fake or emergent, then where is gravity really going? Could it be leaking into other dimensions? And are there unseen realms beyond the 3D world we know? Here's your full Chapter 5 voiceover script designed with a mysterious, cinematic tone for your USA audience. Chapter 5, Hidden Dimensions and Gravity Leaks. Opening, whispering tone, cosmic ambient background. We've accepted a universe with 3 dimensions of space and 1 of time. Length, width, height, tick, tick, tick. But what if that's just the beginning? What if there are more dimensions, hidden, folded, invisible, and gravity is bleeding into them? In this chapter, we go beyond the illusion and dive into the unseen. Because space-time might not just be fake, it might be incomplete. Beyond 3D, what are extra dimensions? The idea of extra dimensions isn't science fiction. It's mathematical necessity. String theory, one of the leading theories of everything, doesn't work in 4D. To balance its equations, it needs 10 or even 11 dimensions. So where are they? According to physicists, they're not out there. They're curled up, compacted into microscopic folds at every point in space. Think of a tight spiral wrapped around every particle, too small for us to see. You're not living in 3D. You're moving through an ocean of dimensions, most of them hidden. Brain worlds, our universe might be a sheet. According to M theory, an extension of string theory, our universe may be a giant 3D brain floating in a higher dimensional space. Imagine a sheet of paper in a vast room. We live on the sheet, but there could be other sheets, other universes, just inches away in a higher dimension, completely invisible to us. These brain worlds could collide, interact, or even birth new universes. This means space-time as we know it is just a surface, a slice of a much bigger cosmic loaf. Gravity's great mystery, the weak force gravity, is the weakest of the 4 known forces. It's 100 trillion times weaker than the strong nuclear force. Why? Physicists now believe gravity may not be weak at all. It may be spreading into other dimensions. Like light leaking through a cracked wall, gravity may not be confined to our 3D brain. It may be drifting, fading, into the higher dimensional space around us. This could explain why it's so faint here, and why galaxies rotate in defiance of Newton's laws.
Can we detect these hidden dimensions?
Yes, and scientists are already trying. At the Large Hadron Collider, particles are being smashed at nearly light speed. If hidden dimensions exist, Some energy should vanish from our observable universe, escaping into those dimensions. And sometimes it does. So far, no conclusive proof, but multiple experiments have hinted at energy imbalances that can't be explained by 4D physics alone. If proven, this would mean our universe isn't closed. It's porous, it's leaking. Are we shadowed by parallel realms? Now imagine this. If higher dimensions exist, other brain worlds could exist too, parallel universes floating next to ours, invisible but real. And if gravity can leak into them, could something else leak out? Some scientists believe dark matter, the invisible substance making up most of the universe, could be ordinary matter from a neighboring universe, brushing against our brain through gravitational pull. That strange tug you feel in the cosmos, it might be the echo of another world. The bullet cluster, a collision across realities? One of the strongest pieces of evidence for invisible forces beyond space-time is the bullet cluster, a collision between two galaxies that separated visible matter from gravitational mass. Telescopes saw galaxies smash together. Gas and dust were scattered, but the gravity stayed intact in places where no matter existed. This suggests gravitational effects may not be entirely bound to visible matter, or even this dimension. It's as if gravity is whispering from somewhere else. Gravity as a dimensional echo. In this new paradigm, gravity isn't a force inside space-time. It's a dimensional echo, a ripple from a deeper structure. Just like the shadow of a 3D object on a wall appears 2D, gravity may be the shadow of higher dimensional physics we cannot see. Our solar system, our galaxies, they may be responding not to local mass, but to structures curled up in extra dimensions, invisible but real. Simulation or architecture. If dimensions beyond 4D exist, then our universe is not all there is. We might be a projection, a localized phenomenon, a 3D ripple on the surface of a much larger, multidimensional event. Some physicists suggest our laws of physics are boundary conditions, rules written only on our brain. Other dimensions could have different laws, different time, different realities. And if we're inside a constructed space with boundaries, could it be a simulation or a multi-dimensional machine? What this means for everything. If space-time is emergent, if gravity leaks, if higher dimensions exist, then we are nowhere near understanding the full picture. We are shadows living on a wall of something far larger. Teleportation? Not fiction. It may simply mean folding dimensions. Wormholes? They could be shortcuts through folded brains. And reality? It's not limited to what we see. It's built from layers we can't even imagine.
Closing the door beyond the illusion.
So next time you feel gravity pulling you down, ask yourself, what if it's not pulling? What if it's leaking? What if it's reaching from somewhere else, trying to tell you there's more? The illusion of space-time is breaking. The deeper dimensions are calling, and the cosmos is far stranger than any dream. This isn't fantasy, this is frontier physics, and we've only just stepped through the first door. Shall I continue next with Chapter 6, Simulation or Structure? Or would you like me to prepare voice sync breakdowns or image prompts for Chapter 5 first?